Okay, welcome to the Yousac Meet Your Transfer Student Representative panel. So for today's panel, we have our Transfer Student Representative, Zuleika Bravo, our Internal Vice President, Emily, our External Vice President, Aiden, Cultural Affairs Commissioner, Promise, our Student Wellness Commissioner, Christina, General Representative 2, Justin, Academic Affairs Commissioner, Breeze, Facilities Commissioner, Sachi, our President, Naomi, and Financial Support Commissioner. If you could all give a little introduction about yourselves, that would be great. Let's start with our transfer student representative, Zuleika.
Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to your second day of Transfer Transitions. We're super excited to have you here. My name is Zuleika. I am a third year transfer student, so technically I'm a super senior. I am double majoring in political science, Latin American studies. I am your transfer student representative, and in our office, what we do is we try to represent transfers across campus, and I'm here basically to be the liaison between the transfer community and administration. So I'm happy that you're all here, and I'm happy to see everyone.
Would Emily like to introduce herself? Oh, I should mention before we continue, if you're comfortable with saying these things, like introduce yourself with identity pronouns, what you're studying at UCLA, what your position is, and what you hope to accomplish in this position.
Yeah, okay. So hi everyone, my name is Emily. My pronouns are she, hers. I am a rising fourth year studying communication and minoring in history and labor studies, and I'm the internal vice president. Wow, I just forgot the rest of the prompt. But I think it was like something I hope to accomplish this year, or what my office hopes to accomplish. Yeah. I think that something that I really wanted to accomplish this year was kind of pushing the boundaries of what the IVP office normally does. So it's normally very administrative, but I'm hoping to use this platform as like a tool for advocacy and for equipping students with resources and knowing their rights and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome. If Aiden would like to introduce herself.
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Aiden Arasassingham. I'm a rising senior, major in global studies, minor in art history and urban planning. I use he, him, his pronouns, and thank you, Zuleika and TSR for putting this on. The EVP office, the External Vice President's office, I always like to say, and previous EVPs have said, is the home of campus advocacy. Our main charge is to organize, advocate, and agitate on issues, off-campus issues that affect students on campus. So everything from the university, local, state, federal environment that affects the ability of us as students to afford, access, and seek out a quality education at UC for ourselves and for our families. That's everything we're working on. And during this year, it's a lot. So I can go into some other things afterwards, but really grateful to be here and excited for anybody who might want to get involved.
Promise, if you would like to go next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Promise Ogumaya. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a rising third year majoring in public affairs and hopefully double majoring in Spanish and minoring in global health. And I'm the Cultural Affairs Commissioner. The Cultural Affairs Commission, essentially, we are collective, like it's artivism, art and activism, and we get our message across through also with edutainment, education and entertainment. So essentially giving more students of color and people of color a platform to be able to share their art and also show resistance within art as well. And yeah, we have a few different series within CAC, which are, we have a Word on Wednesday series or a word series, which is like a spoken word space, open mic type thing when we're in person, but of course can be slightly different. We also have a concert series, which highlights students of color, artists, here at UCLA and the greater LA area and just California in general, or anyone who would like to perform. We also have a hip hop congress, which has our Hip Hop Appreciation Month every February, and puts on our famous Hip Hop Explosion yearly, and we've had quite a few artists in the past. We have diversity tours, which is in normal times would be opportunity on Saturdays. I think we do them about every 4 times a quarter, free ride to different places in LA to kind of just see the greater LA area and learn about just different cultural aspects of it and kind of taking a tour. We also have an art series that puts on art galleries and also hosts art classes. We have a World Fest series that that does a lot of stuff with different cultures within the world and highlighting those cultures within our in our org and in collaboration with other organizations both on campus and off campus. And we have a marketing team, of course, and they specialize in social media marketing and social media marketing, different graphic design opportunities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think, did I get everyone of them? I don't want to have forgotten. Oh, and we have Jazz Reggae Fest. Can't forget Jazz Reggae Fest. Jazz Reggae Fest is a festival that we hold usually in May at Sunset Rec, and we have different artists come to that as well. And we also, in conjunction with Campus Events Commission, put on Bruin Bash and Northern Festivities Fair at the beginning of the year. So that's kind of what Cultural Affairs does. And it's a great time, lots of community, and it's just, wonderful. So I hope to hopefully maybe see some of you guys in the commission this year and in the coming years. So that's me. Thank you.
Great. Next, Christina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Okay. Hi, I'm Christina. I'm from the Student Wellness Commission. So the Student Wellness Commission is a very large commission that is intended to attend to students' wellness on campus. So that's mental and physical well-being. It's really a holistic wellness type thing. So we're actually kind of an umbrella organization where there are 11 different clubs underneath Student Wellness Commission that each focus on a different aspect of student health. Is it fine if I just read them out? I'll just read them. I'll introduce all of them. So we have Active Minds, which does mental health. Body Image Telescopes, which focuses on body image and promoting body positivity at UCLA. We have Bruin Consent Coalition, which supports survivors of sexual assault. So it's a student-centered space for survivors. We have Bruin Necessities, which is focused on basic needs. So it does kind of food supplies. And then also we provide free menstrual hygiene products to all UCLA students. And we're working on getting those more accessible as well in the upcoming year. We have Bruin Run Walk, which hosts an annual charity 5K. We have CPR and First Aid, which provides CPR certifications for free or reduced cost to UCLA students. We have Earth, which is the environmental wing of SWC. We have Health, Nutrition, and Fitness, which hosts events based around health, nutrition, and fitness. We have Search, which does event evaluation. It's actually, if you're in Search, then you get close credit for being in it. So that might be something that's interesting if you want to get research credits. We have Sexperts, which teaches sex ed workshops, and it does other really cool events. And then we have Total Wellness, which produces a zine once a quarter on a different aspect of just overall health and wellness. So if you're at all interested in wellness, hopefully SWC will have something that kind of fills a specific niche of interest that you have. One thing that we're trying to do with the office this year more is kind of work with outside groups. So even if you don't end up joining one of the SWC organizations, just keep us in mind because we would love to work with you in the future.
Great. Next, we have Justin.
What's up, everyone? My name is Justin, pronouns he, him, his. I'm rising. I'm going to be a third year. Econ major, minoring in Chicanx Central American Studies and Labor Studies. And yeah, so about the Gen Rep office, we got a small budget and like small group of people, and kind of our tasks in the Constitution are very like generic, but I hope to make up for that this year and kind of building community. The main two things and my office is doing this year is working to build class consciousness and I guess student worker power among specifically undergrads here at UCLA. My end dream, although it probably won't happen in my time, is for undergrads to unionize. And so I want to support that in any way possible this year. So that means Know Your Rights trainings, partnering with Emily's office on that, conducting surveys, and just generally supporting that cause. And the other thing, the other main thing is supporting the accessibility of mental health resources on our campus, and specifically advocating for more funding for the CAPS program, which is the Counseling and Psychological Services. So our main kind of clinical like therapy, psychiatry, like on campus, and then just advocating for like seeing like which needs still need to be met by incoming students, by students that different come from different backgrounds and all that. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, next we have Breeze.
Hi everyone. Breeze isn't here. She is working, but I'm her chief of staff. I'm Angelina, and I'll just be like sitting in for her and like explaining what AAC does. So essentially what AAC does as a commission is it aims to promote academic equity and accessibility within UCLA. And it acts as like a liaison between the students and admin in regard to academic policies at UCLA and any other campus-wide concerns in regard to academic policies and how they may affect how students perform academically. So our office really works to provide resources to students and to uplift the voices of a lot of our marginalized communities, including transfer students, first-gen students, low-income students, students of color, and students with disabilities. And so some of the things that we've been working on now are implementing anti-racism trainings and anti-queerphobia trainings. And we've also been working on creating a prayer space for our Muslim students. And we've created an online database with job opportunities and scholarships based on major and career path that students can access. And we're also the commission that has created Books for Bruins, which is a monetary grant given to students in need to help pay for their textbook expenses. We are also on the student side of the Academic Senate, which is a branch within AAC where students are appointed as senators, and they can attend meetings where admin is present and essentially advocate for student needs and student concerns. We also have a say on like final deadlines and things like that. But yeah, if you're interested in getting involved, we have an internship program that's launching in the fall, and you can visit our Instagram at Usac AAC or our website if you have any more information or any more questions. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Next we have Sachi.
Hi, Sachi also cannot be here. I think her Zoom's messed up. Maybe she'll be here, who knows, but I'm here, yay. My name's Jackie. I'm in the Facilities Commission, Chief of Social/Internal Development. And Facilities Commission, we essentially, our goals are to implement accessible and sustainable practices within all facilities on campus. Something that a project that Sachi created herself. She's a GIS. No, she's geography major. She's really into that stuff. So her project that she's worked really, really hard on before commissioner and now also as commissioner is MetaMap. And it's basically a way to, like, I'm reading from her Reddit post so I don't mess anything up, but it's like they want to publish basically a UCLA campus map of all like accessible infrastructure / facilities on campus. So things like accessible restrooms, accessible elevators and ramps, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's basically what we do. We also have a project in the runs right now called Project Aussie. And basically that's, we're trying to get reusable containers on all the takeout restaurants on the Hill, which thanks to COVID, one good thing that came from COVID, we actually got passed for like a trial run this fall, which is really exciting. And yeah, I feel like there's definitely more that we do. Oh, Bruin Bazaar is something really cool that we do. It's like an accessible and free clothing swap type thing. And we're also still having that go during COVID. And yeah. Oh, and blank space, also another thing is when we have space available on campus, which is rare, we try to implement it in the most accessible and sustainable ways possible. Yes, that's all. Thank you. Oh, and my pronoun.
Okay, great. Next we have Naomi.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was writing down my handle information, but hi, everyone. My name is Naomi Riley. I'm the Usac president this year. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a fourth-year poli-sci major, double minor in Chicanx Studies and African American Studies. And I'm also really glad to be here, too. I think Zuleika is amazing. She's done amazing work for the transfer community and, you know, really in every capacity tries to put transfers on the map and in the room somewhere. So y'all have to give a huge shout out to her for doing all of that. But and I will say the president's office is traditionally an office that kind of crafts its own platforms every year, year by year, depending on what's relevant, what the student body needs are and what they care about. This year, as you can tell, my needs and everything that I do is COVID related, unfortunately, but also fortunately, because as y'all know, COVID has also exacerbated longstanding inequities that were already present in our education system. So we definitely use that as like a bargaining chip for different things that are going on campus. And we are really focused on this year. My platforms include community, which includes increasing representation within Yousac and also within the larger student body as well. They also include accessibility, which is not like your fax accessibility, and we probably even shouldn't use the term, but really just accessibility within Yousac, because like I said, Usac usually tends to have a big disconnect between the 1,000 student organizations that are on campus. There's 15 of us, there's thousands of student orgs, 30,000 students, and there usually is a disconnect that I really want to help bridge. I'm also really interested in accountability measures, making sure that UCLA, which so proudly claims that #1 seed, and I think we all proudly claim it as well, is really doing its job to make sure that they're treating us #1 in their hearts too. So really making sure that they're being transparent in very different ways, whether that's through our safety measures, like our interactions with the UCPD, or whether that's even through COVID-19 transparency and accountability. So I'm really interested in that. And then lastly, affordability. I think we all know too, COVID-19 has exacerbated the financial inequities that already existed between some of our communities. So I'm also really interested in basic needs. Shameless plug, I was elected the co-chair for the Council of Student Body Presidents. So I'm going to be working a lot in that space alongside Aiden, who I don't think plugged himself as the UCSA president. He's the University of California Student Association president. So they're like student government of student governments. They do a lot of lobbying system-wide. So while I'm really focused on things that I want to do here on campus, I also am interested in conversations on the system-wide level, whether that's in regards to basic needs or whether that's in regards to policing. We are interested in all of those things. And I guess I just wanted to plug our page. We've been really trying to increase our following. We've also kind of been the hub since COVID-19 started in different places, so students have really relied on the information that we're providing. So if y'all want to follow that page, that'd be awesome, but you might already be following it, so if you are, then thank you. If you're not, hit that follow button right now.
All right, thank you. Next we have Noe.
Hi everyone, I'm Noe Garcia. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the Financial Supports Commissioner. I'm a rising third year major in public affairs. So for the Financial Supports Commission, what they do is pretty much provide ways to alleviate financial stress for students on campus. And so that's taken a different form throughout the years. But this past year, what we focused on was kind of expanding on-campus programming. So we expanded our lab coats and goggles rental program. We expanded the iClicker loaner library as well. We provided commuter scholarships. We provided Bruin card fee waivers that we're hoping to continue this year as well. So you could replace your Bruin card for less than the $25 price that you have to pay at the Bruin Card Center. And we also chaired the Usac COVID-19 Relief Fund, which thankfully to all Usac offices were able to secure funding. And so we were able to distribute over 1,000 awards to students of $250 direct payments to them. So we've done that kind of programming, and we hope to continue that, as well as kind of find better ways for students to access the financial resources on campus this year. There's a lot of orgs aside from FSC that has been doing work on campus for many years to provide financial relief for students. So we want to be able to connect them all better and have one location for students to access if they need anything related to finances. That's what we're hoping on for this year, as well as other on-campus programming that we hope to continue if we do come back to campus. And thank you all for having me here.
All right. So our last panelist is Hector.
Hello, I'm the Chief of Staff for Gen Rep 3. Elijah Wade is not able to make it today. My pronouns are he, him, his, and like Elijah, I'm a public affairs major. Our office's goals for this year, the Gen Rep offices in general, have a lot of flexibility in their ambitions and goals for the school years. Our office is focusing on advocating for the low-income community and the community of students of color, specifically the athletic and the Black community. Elijah himself is an ex-football player, so really pushing the narrative and a lot of points in athletics at UCLA, because there's a whole plethora of problems in college athletics in general as well. And we're also advocating for accessibility for Yousac and CAE. There's a lot of things that we have in mind and planned for this year that we want to see done in terms of bringing more information to the student body in terms of Yousac, and also CAE accessibility, physical and mental health and well-being. And that's a synopsis pretty much for what we have in mind for this year. And thank you for holding the space for us.
Okay, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. So before we begin our Q&A portion of this panel, I'd like to remind everyone that this panel ends at 4:50, so please keep that in mind when answering these questions. So I can start with the first question that was submitted through pre-surveys. So this question is, how do we get involved in student government at UCLA? Oh, this question is directed to all committees and offices. So anyone who would like to answer, just feel free.
I mean, I'll just jump in and just say, because we all have very similar ways to get involved in our offices, but usually through our internships and fellowships that we have. I don't think anyone has released theirs yet, right? I'm looking for, no, right? Okay. Oh, Emily
I have.
Okay, yeah, so Emily has released her internships, and depending on your interest and what you want to get involved in, that's one of the best ways to get involved. But I will let the commission, at least Christina, kind of also answer that question too, because I know you have clubs under you.
I can answer for the SWC. So because we have the 11 clubs under us, every single one of them is recruiting in full. You can access those. We're going to have them posted on our Instagram, and they each also have their own Instagram, so you can check those out. If you also visit our website, the applications are posted there. They're all going to be open in like week 0, and almost all of them are open on a year-round basis. A few of them, I think 3 out of the 11, you need to apply like the full week 3 or something. But I will also say, if you're interested in getting involved with any of them, these are very non-competitive applications. Like, these are some of the clubs at UCLA, I think, that are some of the most welcoming clubs, in my opinion. Like, they're not looking to cut you out in applications at all, so don't be intimidated. It's really just trying to like reach out and get a feel for who you are with the application, so don't worry about that. And then we also do have an internship, like Naomi mentioned.
I do want to touch a little bit on that before we move on. Yes, most of us actually do internships, and they start a little bit before the fall quarter or sometimes within the fall quarter. So just keep a lookout for that. I would say if you want to get involved, just reach out to us. We put all of our information in the chat, and we love it when the student body reaches out to us, because that's what we're here for. We're here to represent y'all. So feel free to reach out, email us, DM us. We're open. So that would be my input.
And I'll jump into another layer of ways to get involved, like Naomi mentioned, is through our statewide UC Student Association. If you go to ucsa.org and click on that Get Involved tab, you can get involved with really great appointments, opportunities, conferences that aren't just available for the UCLA community, but if you're interested in making a greater difference in issues that impact all UC students and our state and nation, there are a lot of great opportunities there as well. And I'm actually going to plug that website, and then also our newsletter action network, where we'll be sending out EVP opportunities like our fellowship, like a lot of volunteer opportunities during the election and other appointments.
All right, I'll move on to the second question, and this is also directed for all commissioners. The question is, how can we stay up to date on what each office is currently doing?
Social media. I run the Twitter for fact. It's pretty great. So yeah, definitely social media.
Yeah, I know a couple of our offices also publish like transparency reports and stuff like that, or like a lot of posts and what we're doing and all of that. Most of what my office is going to be publishing during the year is a lot of surveys, and because we want to be working and getting like info from students. So yeah, social media is great.
Okay, great. The third question is USAC planning any socials or events in the upcoming academic year for the student body?
I'll start. I know for the transfer student reps, sorry, Christina. For the transfer student reps office, I know that we are planning a speed dating type of community building event where we will introduce incoming transfers to current transfers. And it's going to be sort of like speed dating where you just go make your rounds with current transfers, so you can just learn about their experiences and build community. So I know that we're doing that, and we're planning that for the fall.
All right, moving on to the next question. We ask, how do you balance extracurriculars and academics?
I think that's a really good question. I'm going to jump in here because I've not been known to be the best with balancing, but I think I've learned over the last year a couple of tips and tricks that I plan to integrate into my final year, so I can finally learn how to, balance everything. I think that using Google Calendar is like the biggest tip that I have for college. And for me, I split my Google Calendars between my IVP stuff and just like generally other stuff. And so everything's like color coded and organized, and I really like that. I also started using this app called Notion, and it's like kind of like a management / prioritization organization app. And I really like that because my office is working on like a ton of different things at any given time, and I never know what's going on unless like I have it all written down. So I really like that. Other than that, like blocking out time for studying and doing your assignments is really important. Um, and I think also making time for like self-care, making sure that you eat and you sleep is something that I've learned in the last year that is really, really crucial. So for me, I like promised myself I would never pull all-nighters. And so I haven't. And in my second year, I had trouble like eating regularly because I was working all the time. And so my third year, my biggest goal for myself was to eat like 3 meals a day. And I felt like that really helped with my wellness and like my mental health.
I know for me, when I was first coming to UCLA, I got the advice from so many people to like say yes, like do this, do that, make use of every opportunity you have at UCLA. And there are so many, but you know, now that I'm a senior, my advice is say no. And you know, there are so many things to do, and it can often feel like, you know, in this day, in this week, if I don't go to every event, if I don't do everything that comes my way, I'm missing out. But, you know, I will say you're not missing out. There are so many things to do, yes, but you have so much time, both, you know, as a student, but even after as an alum and in your career, to do all the things you want to do. You've got a full life ahead of you. And sometimes the best thing you can do is say no to things or delegate or, you know, refocus and prioritize what you really want to get out. So that's something I've been doing a lot more now. And then I think setting boundaries. It's easy as students for us to work all hours of the day and all hours of the night, but I really try keeping, you know, anything related to my student government role within the workday, 9 to 5. Except for our Usac meetings. And, you know, I really encourage others to do that too, because if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking care of your friendships, your relationships, your family, then you won't be able to be as effective, as good of a student or as good as a leader. So really take care of yourself because it makes you a better leader as well.
Thank you for all the advice. Moving on to the other question, which is also related to this question. How much should a student get involved during their first year as a transfer?
Ooh, I'll take this one because I forgot to mention I am a transfer. I love transfers. We're the best. No offense to everyone else. But I transferred last year and joined like literally so many clubs, so many organizations. And I think it's really important to at least apply or at least like show up, like just even you watching this Zoom is, you know, the first step. And I think that's just really important because like when you're at community college, at least for me, like I didn't really get a lot of opportunities to really explore all my interests and passions. And now I'm at UCLA and everything's here. And I don't think that should, I mean, like it may overwhelm some people, but I think it's just like the most excellent, exciting thing ever. So I say, I mean, I was never really that involved in high school or in community college. And now I'm in like 6 extracurriculars, plus I had a job last year. And, you know, it was just something I just went for it because I knew that I'm at UCLA for a reason. They wanted me here. Imposter syndrome is ugly and stupid. And like, you are meant to be here. And like, we all want to hear from you and see you in our offices and in every other club. So I think that, yeah, like just go for it. And like, if something interests you, like you should send it. Like, don't stop yourself at, don't like pick a number, you know, if it interests you, like you should do it. And then also like, if you have too much on your plate, like no one's going to be mad at you. Like there's always a way out. There's always a way to do less and like get more or less involved in any organization that you're a part of, which I think is also really awesome.
To add another perspective, so I'm a rising second year, not quite the transfer experience, but I was just a freshman last year. And what helped me personally was honestly like my upperclassmen peers. I could say, you know, Justin, Emily, I know y'all helped me out a lot with the opportunities and just kind of like guided me in certain directions. But the biggest thing I would say is just talking to your peers, especially those that have been at UCLA for a few years or the older students. They have like the wisdom of like hindsight and they've been through it. So really just reaching out to your peers, because honestly, sometimes you learn more from classmates than a textbook.
Okay, our next question is, what tips do you have on how to get leadership positions in your offices?
I do want to speak on this just a little bit. I know that for our office, for the transfer student rep, it's not necessary for you to have previous like student government experience because you can work on that. Like that's not something that just, you can just have. Like it's definitely something that you work on. And the office provides some of those skill building workshops to, build onto what you already have. So I would say definitely, again, reaching out if you are interested in those positions. And then I would say if you're not so sure about your leadership skills, definitely start at an internship and work your way up. So I would say that would be the best way to get leadership positions in our roles. I don't know if anyone else has.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to jump in and say too, I think my favorite people, especially sitting in like tons of interviews, and I know a lot of people can also attest to this too, are the ones who are passionate and who have their eyes set on a goal and just are so able to articulate, those passions and what they want to, or, the future that they see for themselves. So I feel like, one of the best ways to go about getting more leadership experience within Yousac is to show that passion and to be determined, in that goal that you have too. And I think that'll take you a long way. I, like Zuleika too, don't put too much pressure on past leadership experience. I mean, I want to see that you're a people person, at least if you're going to be working in a large office, but more than anything, I want to see that you have the determination to carry out the goal that we have set.
All right, so the next question is, do you know if ASUCLA is providing remote jobs for students?
Yeah, so I can answer this. My office, Emily's office, and Noah's office are actually working on a guide, like kind of a job listings guide, like for students, planning to be released ideally next week, so going into the year. And we're kind of collecting a lot of that, a lot of those opportunities to put them in one place. Specifically for ASUCLA, I can give the link. They have a relatively easy section on their website to apply for jobs. To be honest with y'all, it was my actually section to look through remote opportunities. UCLA is a little weak this year, to be perfectly honest. So a lot of opportunities are kind of being cut, and it's hard. It seems that it's hard for a lot of employers around campus to find remote opportunities, especially to replace them, because there just isn't as much work to be done on campus. But yeah, that guide is we're hoping it'll at least connect people to as many options as possible. Also jobs off campus, online jobs. Yeah, we're definitely having an emphasis on remote and in Westwood. Yeah. And also we'll also include some know your rights info on that guide. But yeah, it's still a draft to be released next week. But yeah, I'll also put the link to ASUCLA. Yeah, good question. It's gonna be posted on, again, all of our social media, which is, we're gonna try and get it out as much as we can. And hopefully all the rest of the offices will be posting it as well. Yeah.
So the next question is, how are you connecting with students on an online platform? I know you already touched on this, Justin, but if you can explain more, everyone.
I would say definitely Instagram has been one of the most utilized platforms that the Office of the Transfer Student Rep has been doing. Again, we post all of our surveys on there. Anything that we're working on is posted on there. As Justin mentioned, the transparency reports that most of us do are posted on our social media, so our Instagram pages and our Facebook pages. So that's sort of the medium that we've been using on connecting to our students. But I don't know, Naomi, did you want to talk about maybe our council meetings?
Oh yeah, I would love to talk about our long council meeting. So every Tuesday, well, for the summer, it's every other Tuesday, we have council meetings that start at around 7 p.m. Right now during the summer, they're at 5 p.m. And that's usually a platform where we kind of engage with students. I mean, students have the ability to give public comment and listen in on the meeting. But we don't often have too much engagement unless there's like a hot button topic that students want to come through to. But that is one platform that I feel like has been effective. And then I think, like Zuleika said, our social medias are definitely the source of where we engage with a lot of students. I've seen different offices do Instagram takeovers, you know, bringing in different people, connecting with different organizations and doing takeovers in that fashion. Some of us also sit on like various panels and try to spread information and education materials there. So yeah, come through to a council meeting. You should see how it works. It's interesting. We have to do Robert's rules. And if you know anything about Robert's rules, it's really boring sometimes.
Okay, I guess like before we wrap everything up for the commissioners, do you guys have any events or anything that you guys have planned that you guys want to share with the rest of us?
I can just really quickly plug something if you're offering. This Friday, SWC has a film premiere, and it's going to be premiered on YouTube, followed by a discussion afterwards. And it's a short film that was directed by a few people that are in the commission that kind of follows, it's like accounts of survivor stories of sexual assault and sexual violence. So it's kind of a heavy topic, but it's going to be, I think, very interesting to hear them. And we are going to have a long unpacking session after. So if you're interested, you should definitely come. And then also something else that we just already have planned, we will have like a lot more events happening in fall, but one that we already have planned is week 2. We're having a panel that's focusing on medical racism, and that's going to be hosted by Serge, and it will be posted on the SWC page. So if you're interested, you can follow us to see more.
I can jump in really quick. My office is planning to release a couple of resource guides coming in the next few weeks. So one is the student worker resource guide that Justin was talking about, and another is the housing relief resource guide about basic needs resources. And then another thing that we're working on is a collaboration with Christina SWC. So we're like doing a little COVID messaging campaign about how to like speak to your peers and things like that, and set boundaries and whatnot. And then another like actual event we're having is a student worker town hall in the first couple of weeks of school as well.
Yeah, one that we want to plug is FSC and FAC are working on a guide of businesses in Westwood that will be offering discounts for students who are going to be shopping in Westwood. So primarily for meals, and probably also having like a kind of under 10 menu for meals. So keep an eye out for that if you're going to be in Westwood this fall.
And I'll share, you know, our major initiative that we're working on up until November 3rd is Bruins Vote, which is our nonpartisan voter education and registration drive. So expect a lot of really great engaging events each week relating to the election, you know, finding out how to register to vote, learning more about the things on the ballot. And I know that we have a CEC collaboration, our Campus Events Commission collaboration with you know, a TBD super cool guest that will be coming. So stay engaged. We'll have a lot of great election related things coming up.
And I guess, you know, I don't know if we're like wrapping things up, but I just also wanted to plug that COVID-19 is real. I don't know where y'all are going to be on campus this fall, but I really just want to spread the message to, you know, wear your masks, stay social distance, remain in pods if possible. We're going to be coming out with content that kind of encourages that same messaging, because I'm a senior, I want a graduation or something of that sort. So if y'all could please help us out. And also I want y'all to have like a normal like 4 years or 2 years too, or 2 or 3, you know, however long you are here. But we want y'all to be able to shine as well and get to feel the LA sun. So please, yeah.
I want to plug in our pre-survey. I'm really sorry. please fill out the pre-survey that Sarah put in the chat. It really helps us institutionalize this program for transfer students. We don't have any program that really onboards transfers. So if you can please take that pre-survey so we can use the data and present it to student affairs. So that's my plug.
Okay, thank you everyone for presenting. We're going to open up the floor for the students who have questions. So the way we're going to do this is if you have a question, please raise your hand under participants and we will call on you so you can ask your question.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will only have time for about 2 more questions because our USAC members still have a meeting at 5 p.m. So we want to be considerate of that.
Okay, if nobody has any questions, thank you all for coming. And I'd like to thank all the panelists for spending your time, taking your time to come speak at this event.